Hey, what's going on, everyone? Matthew here, and today I am very proud to do another radio kind of review, but this time it's going to be a YouTube first. Today we're going to be looking at the Kaito KA-110 Pocket Emergency Radio. It's an AM/FM weather band radio, in addition to also being an MP3 player. So before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to a couple of people this time. One is, of course, my good friend Todderbert, who does reviews of classic and newer portable radios. Be sure to check him out. I'll post a link for his channel in the description down below, if possible. And another shout out to my good buddy Allie-RX, who I told him about the other radio that I previously reviewed, the Retekess V-115. Allie, forget everything I told you about that one. I think you should go for this radio instead, and I'll explain to you why a little later on. Anyway, let's take a look at the box and see what it has to offer. As you can see here, it has a very familiar resemblance to, well, not just like the Retekess V-115, but with its later model, the Retekess TR-102. Except there are a couple of major differences between that radio and this one from Kaito. As you can see right here, on the top of the radio, there's a mode button, which lets you switch between like a radio and MP3, an AM and FM AM button. Here you have like the internal microphone for which you want to record voiceovers of anything you want. The power button, and instead of like the shortwave button, we have a weather band button, which lets you switch to weather band, of course. You have the menu button, the delete button in case you want to delete any radio recordings that you've previously recorded. You have the record button in addition to the volume up and down buttons. The numeric keypad. These two numeric keypads right here, the one on the top for memory, which is number 5, you press and hold on it and you enter whatever station you want to be numbered at. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, and the recall button, which is number 0, lets you go to radio recordings that you previously recorded, and you can listen to them anytime you want in case you want to look them up for reference or research or whatever. You can record just about anything with music, news, talk shows, etc. Here you have the skip back and skip forward button, as well as like the play and pause button, which also acts as like the confirmation button on when you navigate through the menu. Other side gives you all the specifications right here. AM/FM weather band receiver, real-time NOAA weather alert. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if you press and hold down the weather band button while it's still in weather mode, it'll go on a silent standby alert, and whenever like some sort of like a weather or other type of emergency comes in through the EAS, the radio will automatically come back on and will sound the emergency alert. It also acts as an MP3 player and recorder. Like the Retekess V-115, it also has a micro SD memory card slot. I'll explain more in a little bit. Built-in microphone, multi-tuning modes, a sleep timer, loop playback modes, an equalizer, mute and key lock functions, and you can charge this thing through like a micro USB cable. Has a 3.5mm headphone jack and a 3.5mm line-in jack, so that you can use that to record anything you want from like any other device. Too bad it doesn't support Bluetooth though. I kind of like would have liked to have that, but take what you can get. Has a full range speaker, multi-language menu, up to 3 languages like English, Spanish, and Chinese, I believe. And it's a very pocket-sized radio and more. And it just gives you like Kaito's contact information if you have any problems with it, or you want to ask any general questions about any of other any other of Kaito's electronic devices, then let them know. Okay, so right here we got like some pamphlets, limited warranty and product registration sort of thing. Asks you like this sort of like a questionnaire, like the kind of personal information you want to give out in case you want to receive like maybe any more offers from Kaito. So at least that's what I assume. And we have the official instruction manual right here. Let's take a quick look through that. Here's an introduction here. And this gives you all the same details as one of the sides of the box that I just showed off. It accepts any sort of like a BL-5C rechargeable lithium-ion battery. And here's like a blueprint of the radio, of the front, the side, and the back. Sorry if it's taking me a minute to skim through all these pages real quick. Some information about like putting in a micro SD card. I'll get to that in a second. Kinds of sounds you want to use for the radio. Just go through the menu settings. But more importantly, we have some information about like how you use the micro SD card for the radio. And this is one of the best parts of the radio. And this had me a bit confused at first when I purchased it the first time. This radio can accept micro SD cards up to not just 32 gigabytes anymore. No. It accepts micro SD cards up to 64 gigabytes. And as you can see right there, the number of manageable files of like songs, kind of music, or radio plays, or whatever you want to put on there, it supports up to 65,535 files. Over 65,000. Like, oh my god, that is huge. That is unbelievably huge. I mean, just think about how much, how many songs you would be able to fit onto a micro SD card. Like that size. Like, oh my god. Here's the issue that I've had at first with like trying to fit a 64 gigabyte card inside it for the first time. Now, it will accept micro SD cards up to 64 gigabytes, like I've been told by some representatives over at Kaito when I asked them about this. But here's the problem. When you insert a 64 gigabyte card for the first time ever, you'll get this message on the radio when you put it in saying unsupported file system, meaning it will not take the card at all unless you have to reformat it to the FAT32 format. Otherwise, it will not work on the radio. But once you reformat the 64 gigabyte card from whatever current format it's on to the FAT32 format, you'll finally be able to get it to work. If you need more info, just look it up online, whatever. I'm sure you'll find the solution for this. But basically, all you have to do before you insert the SD card into the radio, make sure you convert it to FAT32 on your computer first before using the card for your radio for the first time. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that, because I was pretty frustrated at first when I inserted the card for the first time and it will not work unless I had to reformat it, which luckily I did. So there you go. Last but not least, we have the official radio itself. As you can see here, it did not come with like a hand strap, so I had to make one of my own using like dental floss. You have like a little bit of info on like the back cover, the battery cover of the radio here. And this isn't like the same battery that the radio comes with in the box. It's actually like a third-party battery from XH Data that I bought like off of eBay separately. I only need one of them, in fact, but they were having a 2-for-1 sale on these batteries for roughly $8. And unlike the battery that comes with the radio that has up to 850 milliamps of power, the batteries that I got separately for this radio have up to 1500 milliamps of power. So if that's what you want to get instead of you having to use the 850 milliamp battery, like, I'd say go for this one, because the more milliamps of power it has, like the longer the radio will last on a full charge with this battery. Alright, pretty much showing off everything that's on the front of the radio. I'm just gonna set the camera down here for a second and extend the antenna to show you how long it is. Yeah, it's about as long as the Retekess V-115, but you know, the Kaito KA-110 is just about the same length of a, well, it has the same length the antenna as like the other radio I previously mentioned, the V-115. So before we get to like any sort of like a radio playback with this thing for AM, FM, and weather band, let's check out like the Mp3 functionality of this radio. I'm just gonna turn this on and let it do its thing.
We're interrupting our music special for just a moment to bring you some news which has just reached our newsroom. A major development has occurred in Germany regarding the military situation between Soviet and NATO forces. While details are still vague at this time, it is reported that thousands of Soviet troops swarmed into West Germany.
Yeah, this is a radio play called The Last Broadcast, which takes place sometime in the mid-80s, like it takes place in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Basically, it's about like the U.S. versus like the Soviet Union forces. That also has like Germany and London involved. And basically, it's about like the threat of a thermonuclear war, and it's a very well-made radio play that if you haven't listened to this yet, if you want to look it up online, go on YouTube right now and check it out while it's still on there. It's very good. I recommend listening to this one a lot.
2,000 years ago, this great warrior ruled the world, and in his journeys collected
made by One Radical One. That would be the person's YouTube channel, I think.
This is Bob Henderson, and I have
so let's switch away from there and play some other MP3 files. Let's go to music. Let's try video game soundtracks. Let's go with good old PlayStation 1 Redbook audio music. Let's see here. Let's go with WCW versus the World. Track 1. I'm trying to avoid playing any official licensed songs that I may like store on the SD card for this radio, because I want to avoid any copyright claims from any sort of a music group that I might play any licensed songs for. I mean, who didn't love WCW back in the day during, like, the Monday Night Wars? Let's move on to another track. Let's stop right there. Basically, that's it for the MP3 functionality of this radio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head outside of my house and show you what the AM, FM, and weather band capabilities are. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back outside of my house, and we're gonna do some like AM, FM, and weather band scanning. So let me just turn the radio back on here and see what stations we're gonna get.
Forget what she learned from her dad.
Including a meet and greet with some of your Nick Jr. friends. Nick Jr. Live is the perfect choice for family entertainment, and Hood is the best milk choice for your family. With so much uncertainty around food choices,
This is what same page, willing to do what it takes and willing to sacrifice, and that's where Tom should get a tremendous amount of credit. Always being willing to sacrifice a little bit of money in his pocket today to open up more money for potential teammates.
I think it's some sports station talking about the New England Patriots' own Tom Brady.
Been able to stay afloat and continue this thing and keep it going because their best player was also willing to buy in on how to keep this thing going.
Okay, enough of that.
if you want to check it out. It's pretty eerie.
In the home stretch.
I will be back here tomorrow at 11. Until then, be good.
Light Rock 105 and Capriccio present another amazing light night in the city. Go to lightrock105fm.com now and enter to win a fantastic night out that includes
protection. So before you take out that loan to start your own business, I got this. Head to that rally.
to choose from, all in certified condition.
Gonna make your head burn.
Of overdose. To that end, there is another idea currently
Let me turn
under
this up a bit.
consideration. Nicole O'Donnell again, the certified recovery specialist.
So we advocate for,
.org/Celtic.
Hey. Okay, I don't know if that's copyrighted music or not. I should be playing it.
The Muslims people, if someone share with them the gospel, the first thing that comes.
Now, so it is. It's a moment to get away from them, and secondly,
Vacation with Christian music's biggest artists, like Casting Crowns.
Some orchestral music being played.
Every vehicle available with no money down. Huge selection to choose from.
There's experience just by speaking into the X1 voice remote. Easy. It's the
Xfinity.
Xfinity New Year, New Game.
I don't wanna be 3-7.
Ford-Way, Merloni, and Fourier. To this team.
The rent, even utilities. Cost of living is up, but Allstate can help low.
Yeah.
Masonry construction. We bring nearly 4 decades of experience.
Positive, encouraging music.
It's all I listen to. The music makes me feel great.
Yeah, for some strange reason, like the V-115, the 110 here, like also skips like 95.9 WATD in Marshfield. Though there is a trick to receiving the station. When I was inside my bathroom and I had this radio playing, I have this like a metal rack which had all of my my house's hand and bath towels. It's a metal rack, like I said, and when I made my antenna of this radio touch the rack, I was able to get 95.9, but only when the antenna was touching the rack. So that's kind of weird. It's still a little bit disappointing unless you're in a very good area with a great radio reception that you can't get 95.9.
Find your serenity one sip at a time at Liquor & More, a proud supporter of life's rewarding moments.
And that's got to do it for FM. Let's go to the AM band. I've got WBZ News Radio 1030 coming in, but just barely. Yeah, they're talking about like the coronavirus outbreak. I mean, those poor people in China, like, they don't deserve this. That's horrible. I hope they all get better soon, otherwise we're gonna have a real problem on our hands. Anyway, let's move on. That's an Easy 99.1 on its AM station counterpart. There doesn't appear to be anything coming in for this station. Oh, we got something coming in here.
Precious metals IRAs. Want to do more with your money in 2020? Then go to learnaboutgold.org.
Also got something coming in here. Just barely. Nothing coming in here. You got something here.
This is a strategic opportunity, in my analysis. They can say, you know, how dare you try, you know, how dare you hit our economy at a time like this? How dare you be...
And that's it for AM. Let's go to one of the biggest key differences between the V-115 and the KA-210 here, which is instead of having shortwave, we have weather band.
Gusts up to 20. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Monday night, west winds 5.
And this is my local weather station KEC-73 here on frequency 162.550 megahertz.
10 knots overnight. Seas 2 to 3 feet. Wednesday and Wednesday night, north winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming east with gusts up to 20 knots overnight.
Let's see if we can get any other weather stations here in Massachusetts. No, just that station. Okay guys, my battery's running low, so if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to both Todderbert and Allie-RX, because they both do amazing review videos of Todderbert reviewing portable radios, and Allie-RX with his main gaming channel, as well as his secondary channel, RX or A squared. So be sure to check them out. I gotta go right now because the battery's running low on this thing. So take care of yourselves, have a good day, and I'll see you all next time.